Hi guys, this is JAVAiOS with AI. Yes, that's my channel name. Today I'd like to introduce my project where you can see both Java and iOS at the coding level. This is not just a demo, it's actual service that currently running on my live server at traveltube.com. The idea of training on both sides was planned almost a year and a half ago and did create some of the video, but I was not able to follow up just because catching up on all the knowledge for both sides, it was not easy for me. Then suddenly the Claude Code came along and I was able to study and build at the same time. That was incredibly powerful but also interesting experience and something that was not really possible before the Claude Code. So this is the perfect timing for anyone, not just for me, who has studied one side but also curious about the other side. With AI support, you can extend your capability to the other side, not just quickly but practically, because you're building at the same time, which is way more effective than just reading a book or watching a video. We gain the knowledge while building, and since we are already coders, we can pick it up much faster than anyone else, which is, for me, this is a great chance. The AI is not a chance to demolish the job from the programmer or coder. I believe it can be used to promote our capability and the level of coding we can produce as well. Okay, so I'd like to introduce briefly the project. As you can see, this is a website which I did create with Claude Code, and the other side is iOS application. This that I created like 2 to 3 years ago almost, which is this will be the client to create some of the data that has stored in the backend side. This application will create a story based on your YouTube you already has on your channel, and that story will be stored on the map. So that story will be stored in here. The user can click and watch the video. So a basic idea is about this project is relatively simple. You have a story on your channel already to share and put story on the map. I will explain this later about what kind of service is, and it will be described on the description as well. So this is our sample project that actually running on my Raspberry Pi instead of AWS service in order to save some cost, some test period. So here is how we're doing sequentially to achieve the goal, which is programming and planning and everything with AI. So first thing is I'm using a Claude Code planning and put that planning on the Notion node. So if you're seeing here, this is my Notion node, and this Notion node will include everything to be programmed in both sides, in iOS and Java. In here, the Java first, for example, what kind of Git branch will be used, specific task, and then what kind of endpoint will be, and what is the response supposed to be, blah, blah, blah. Basically, a very brief planning of Java backend service. If you see my Java side, as you can see, this is my Spring microservice module. And so in here, as you can see, this Java service module has been 3 Spring Cloud service and 5 sub module to provide the actual functioning of service, which is total 8 microservices module. It will give you the quite a decent chance to understanding how the Java microservice will work together and how the client side request will be processed in the backend side as well. It will include Docker and Kafka for better asynchronous module programming as well. That will be explained in the future as well. So after programming of Java side, now we also programming of iOS side as well. And sequential programming of Java and iOS side will give us the chance to test actually the message build flow from the client to the server side flawlessly or not. So that test, we will test the local test first without Docker container using only Java runtime on my MacBook first. At the same time, we're still using some of the Spring Cloud service that has been installed in my Raspberry Pi that has been work inside of Kubernetes. So run some Kubernetes as well with microservices. Basically, the Kubernetes is all about the resilience, how much my service can be scaled or recovered out of the fail, which is quite important to provide some resilience, especially for microservices as well. So the test will be done first locally, and after test, what we will doing is all the source code will be upload to the server, GitHub, and then this Jenkins will be triggered to deploy the actual update to my Raspberry Pi. So after deploy to the Raspberry Pi, the last process will be integration or test, which is actual iOS application will try to deliver the message or data to the server to store it. So this entire process is one single iteration to build one single functioning. So that's what I'm going to do. If I'm open up to my Notion note again, so this is the one single function that I will try to filming later. I want to listen from you guys that how much do you like my idea of doing this subject or not. I'm not quite sure about that. I want to listen as much as I can. And so as you can see, this is episode 7. I already create old episode, which is how the story will be published, and then chapter screenshot will be created and story will be deleted, which is this is more foundation of function in order to run the entire the service, to be honest, rather than the episode 7. But the reason being that I'm start with episode 7 is just because episode 1 and 2, 3 are relatively more complex than the 7. So I just introduced all my plan and what is this channel about, all the other information about further process or some of the knowledge bases will be listed in the description. For those who want to study based on all the blog that I made, I did create separate section on my word process of traveltube.com. In here, as you can see, there's a YouTube section. If you click it, all the episode that you've seen on the Notion note has been published. So first episode will be number 7, which is the next week. And as you can see, the same note on the Notion will be already in here. So you can see, have a look, and we'll be able to understand what this episode about. So basically, that's how I will produce the contents, create the Notion note, and put in the publish on my word process blog, and create the video so you can follow me, and then also able to study based on the word process blog that I made. I really appreciate your time, and hopefully you can enjoy the process that I made, and I will see you next week.